Would you like to make a podcast? Spotify has a way to let you make one easily, distribute it everywhere, and even earn money, all in one place, for free. It's called Spotify for Podcasters, and here's how it works. Spotify for Podcasters lets you record and edit right from your phone or computer, so you can start creating today. Then you can distribute your podcast to Spotify, and everywhere else podcasts are heard. And video podcasts are also available on Spotify. With Spotify for Podcasters, you can earn money in a variety of ways, including ads and podcast subscriptions. And best of all, it's totally free. You know, ever since I discovered Spotify for Podcasters, I've enjoyed sharing my favorite stories with children around the world. If you've ever thought of starting your own podcast, download the Spotify for Podcasters app or go to spotify.com/podcasters to get started. The Story of the Golden Goose. There once was a man who lived at the edge of the forest. He had 3 sons. One day his eldest boy went to cut wood for the family. His mother gave him a piece of cake and fresh milk to take with him. After a short time, a little old man with a gray beard approached him. "Would you please give me something to eat and drink?" The man asked. "I am very hungry and thirsty." But the boy refused. "I won't have enough for myself if I share with you," he said while he continued cutting wood. A short while later, the axe slipped and cut the boy's arm, so he went home to have it bandaged. The second son said he would go cut the wood instead. His mother gave him a piece of cake and some fresh milk too. And once again, the old man approached the second son and asked if he would share his food. "No," said the boy, "because whatever I give to you, I can't have myself." Soon after, his axe slipped and cut his leg, so the boy had to limp home to have his leg bandaged. The youngest boy, Billy, then said he would go to cut the wood, but his father refused. "You silly boy, your brothers have hurt themselves, and you certainly will too." But Billy insisted, and at last his mother gave in and gave him some dry crackers and a bottle of water to take with him. And Billy set off into the forest. No sooner had he started to work than the old man appeared again and asked for a drink and a bite to eat. "It's plain food," Billy said, "but if you're happy with dry crackers and water, I'll gladly share with you." The two sat down for a break and shared the crackers and water. Then the old man said, "You've been very good to me, and you shall have your reward. Cut down the tree over there and see what you find inside." Billy did as the old man said. Hidden inside the tree trunk, he found a goose with shining feathers of pure gold. Billy wondered how there could be such a strange bird. He looked around for the old man, but he had vanished. So Billy picked up the goose and set off for home. Before long, Billy was totally lost. It was growing dark, so when he came to an inn, he decided to stay for the night. The innkeeper had 3 daughters, and they were all very curious about the golden goose. When Billy went for supper, the eldest daughter thought she would steal a single feather. As soon as she put her hands on the goose, she immediately stuck to it. No matter how she struggled, she couldn't get free. The middle daughter, also wanting a feather, tried to push her older sister out of the way, but she quickly found that she was stuck to her sister's arm. When the youngest daughter approached, her sisters warned her not to touch them, but she thought they were just trying to keep the golden feathers all for themselves. So she took hold of her middle sister's arm, and immediately she was stuck like glue. The next morning Billy set off down the street with the golden goose, dragging the girls behind him. As they passed the church, the parson called out, "What are you girls doing running after that young man? Let go at once." When he tried to pull the youngest girl away, he became as stuck as they were. The parson called to his wife to free him, but that just ended with the wife sticking to the parson. Then 2 farmers ran from their fields to help this strange group, and soon they were stuck too. By now there were 7 people in a line following the boy with the golden goose. It was the strangest procession you could imagine. Now it just so happened they passed near the king's palace, and the king had a daughter, but the princess was always miserable. No one could make the princess smile, let alone laugh. The king was so desperate to cheer her up that he promised her hand in marriage to anyone who could make her happy. Many young men had tried to amuse her, telling jokes, doing tricks, fooling around, making faces, but nothing worked. She was as sad as ever. But when the princess looked out her window on the day and saw Billy walking along the street carrying a golden goose, she started to smile. Then, when the princess saw the 3 sisters, the parson, the parson's wife, and the 2 farmers following along behind, her smile turned into a laugh, and her laugh became louder and louder. She laughed so hard that tears ran down her cheeks. The laughter caught the king's attention. "My dear, what has made you laugh?" The princess was laughing so much she couldn't speak. She could only point to Billy and the long line of people stuck to the golden goose. The king immediately sent his footmen to bring Billy to the palace. "The princess is laughing," the king exclaimed. "You made her laugh. That means you may marry her." "Me? Marry the princess?" Billy said. "Why, yes," the king answered. "I am so glad that at last someone has helped my poor sad daughter. All I want for her is to be happy. If you can make her smile and laugh, you are the best husband she could have." Suddenly, the golden goose jumped from Billy's arms, and all the people toppled backwards unstuck. Billy and the princess soon married, and they lived a long happy life together, full of smiles and laughter. Thank you for listening to Bedtime Stories. Please make sure you subscribe to follow us for more stories and, of course, share them with a friend. You can get notified of new stories on Twitter and Instagram @MagicMonorail. If you have a suggestion for a new story, send us an email, magicmonorail@gmail.com. Until next time, good night.